Learning construction. Learn, share, expand.
Hey guys, this is Certainly with learningconstruction.com and welcome to another quick video about foundations. So in this video I would like to talk about how to start placing the rebar in the foundation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the step that you already dug the foundation to the proper bottom of footing elevation, which if you didn't, then you can see the other video that we had. And then we're also going to assume that you know how to read rebar and how to read the plans. If you don't, you can also visit our other videos. Once you have the footing completely dug out, what you want to do is you want to start placing your rebar from the bottom up. Now, one thing that I want to tell you guys is rebar can be very dangerous on anything that you do with rebar. Handling, installation, using the wire, using the rebar itself, cutting it, bending it. It's really heavy and it can get really dangerous. So please be cautious. Thing that you have to have in your mind is safety. Safety is always first. So use goggles, use gloves. Don't lift any weight that you can't pick up. One thing that I tell everybody that I work with is if you don't know, then it's better that you tell somebody who does that you don't know. This way we're all aware that you are not experienced with it, and it'll be much easier for everybody to understand what you should and you should not do. Okay, so with gloves and everything in hand ready to go, you want to start with the lower mat. Now remember, when you're placing the rebar on the floor, you don't want the rebar to be touching any type of soil, any other surface but the steel itself. This is because you need to have certain clearance for the concrete, and you also want to avoid that the reinforcing steel gets corroded by the soil or by other elements. So once you build the lower mat of the steel, which you can see on this picture over here, we have a lower mat in steel. Then you need to raise that lower mat using dobies, like the concrete dobies that we have here. They're readily available. You can buy those ones stock in any shop, or you can build yourself some. Don't use wood, please. Do not use wood, because wood will rot and undermine the concrete, and inspectors don't like to see wood. So do not use any type of wood on items that are going to remain inside of the footing. Okay, so the next thing is you want to build yourself the upper mat. The first on the type of foundation, some of them won't even have it. It all depends on the type of footing that you're building. But you want to make sure that when you're placing this mat or you're placing the steel, that you have the proper overlap on the steel. If you look at this video, you see when we're putting new bars don't go end to end with each other. They actually overlap. And how much they overlap is what they're showing on the drawings. The drawings will have a standard detail such as 30 bar diameter, which means is 30 times the width of the diameter of the rebar. So for example, if you have half an inch rebar, you multiply by 30, that equals 15 inches. So each rebar needs to overlap the other one 15 inches, and you're going to end up with a total of 30 inches overlap. Corners is the same deal. Don't just go butt and butt. You have to make sure that the rebar overlaps whatever the details are calling for on your structural plans. And don't be stingy with your tie wire. You want this thing to be real tight. As you can see over here, these guys are putting a lot of work into tying the rebar one by one. Because remember, once you're pouring the concrete, these are approximately 145 pounds per cubic foot that is falling on top of this reinforcing steel. So the last thing you want is this thing to just fall apart when you're pouring concrete. So, tie everything well. Make sure it's well secured. The next thing that you want to make sure is all the items that are going to be on the surface. So if you're building a foundation, for example, for a slab for the house, that you want to make sure that you set up and you lay out all your bolts and J-bolts and structural dowels in the wall, and you incorporate them into your rebar. For personal experience, try to avoid wet setting these items after you pour the concrete, especially because most of the times the problem that you have is that you're trying to set up a bolt or or a J-bolt, and you can't because you had so much rebar inside of your foundation. So you want to make sure you set these things prior to pouring concrete. And then you're trying to avoid making mistakes and forgetting them once you pour the concrete. If you can see in this video over here, we're pouring the foundation for the retaining wall, so we were very careful on how we laid out the vertical dowels that are coming out of the foundation, and they're going inside of the cells for the masonry block. And we secured them by using 2x4s. We used a fair amount of stakes to make sure that it was well secured. Once again, when you're pouring concrete, you're going to be walking inside of your footing. You're going to be pouring 145 pounds per cubic foot, so you want to make sure this thing is solid and it's not going to go anywhere. And that's it for this video, guys. Once again, I hope you guys liked it, and if you have any comments or questions, or you can't understand my accent, I totally get it. Just put it on the comment, put a comment on the box below, or send me an email, or yeah, you can send me a request on learningconstruction.com. Well, thank you guys. Bye.